Welcome to Ada Continues, episode 136, a weekly podcast posted up every Monday on adacontinues.com as an MP3, in which we talk about video games and other related topics. Ada Continues is also a member of the Tech Podcast Network at techpodcast.com. I'm your host, Stafa, if this is the first time listening or watching the podcast. I usually have different guest hosts with me each week. This week I have Adam, who is the community manager.
What's going on?
How's it going, Adam?
I'm alright. What's going on, man?
And we got James.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on the show.
No, stop it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyways,
Oh, boy.
this
we go.
week's episode segments include, we're going to talk about what have we been playing. After that, we got a couple of quick announcements. Our main topic is going to be the Steam events. After that, we got some news, and we have listener feedback. And then we'll call it a show. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me. Let's get this thing on going.
Rolling.
It's
All
already
right.
starting to heat
It's
up in here.
yeah, getting hot
Oh,
in here.
yeah.
Anyways, so, Adam, what have you been playing?
I bought a PS4 last week.
Mm-hmm.
I been playing some of the free games from PlayStation Plus. I played Contrast. It's a really neat puzzle platformer.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can solve puzzles by going into the shadows to make sure something's lit up.
Give us the premise first. It's like a 1920s,
Like a-
1940s.
Yeah, it seems like that. I don't think that they ever really showed
And it's
a
in Paris or
date.
something
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
that?
say
Yeah.
it seemed like it had a Paris theme.
Yeah. It's neat. My main thing with it, not so much the story, because I don't know. I just didn't ever get into the story. I really liked the gameplay
Mm-hmm.
because the puzzles was really neat. Because make sure that there's light going onto a wall or whatever, and then you could kind of phase into the wall as a shadow.
Yeah, and basically you're playing as this imaginary person, right?
Yeah.
Like a little girl, and it's her imaginary friend or something like
Yeah.
that, and
Something like that.
that friend can become a shadow, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But she's also like a physical thing. It's really, you'd have to play it
Mm-hmm.
to get the whole thing, because I don't want to ruin nothing. That's English. But it's really neat. The puzzles were really fun to solve. Some of them are just ridiculous. Like
Mhm.
there's one where there's a carousel, and there's just a bunch of different things that show up on the wall where you got to jump, and then you got to watch out, then you got to
Yeah.
kind of dash through the smaller shadows,
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't, you're just stuck there, and then you fall, and then you have to do it 20 more times.
Yeah, I played that segment when I played this game at PAX. They had a demo, and from what I played, the puzzles seemed pretty easy. It just came down to, okay, you're gonna or at least in the demo, the puzzles were move the lights so they cast shadows on these specific parts, and then after that, execute the platforming. And the platforming seemed to be more difficult than the puzzle solving itself.
Yes and no. I mean, you get used to the platforming aspect in the game,
Uh-huh.
but the puzzles also get more and more difficult.
Okay.
I really like the game. At the end, I started to get into the story. I think I might go back through and really pay attention to the story. But just the gameplay, I had a ball with it. I mean,
Okay.
it's really short. I think I maybe played it for maybe 3.5 hours.
And then you finished it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, so it's a nice short game. You would really like it.
Yeah. I like short.
Right. But I had a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's it on that.
James, what have you been playing?
I have been playing on Adam's PlayStation 4 because he brings it over and it's like candy. You just have to sit there and just take
Eat it?
all in. Yes.
Don't eat all my candy.
But I've been playing this game called Resogun,
Mm-hmm.
or the airplane game.
No one's gonna get that joke except
No.
for you. You think that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I do. But it's kind of like a mixture between Galaga, and I'm trying to think of another game to also compare it to. It's like
Defender.
yeah. I totally lost train of thought after you said that.
It's like Defender.
Defender. But it's like a little arcade game. What, maybe 4 or 5 levels?
I think so.
You
does it end after those levels, or does it just keep going? You rack up score, or
it
what?
ends. You get a
Okay.
boss fight at the end of each one,
Uh-huh.
and then it, like I said, just a small, simple arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
Just something really to pass the time.
They're actually releasing an expansion pack this Tuesday for it. That'll put in I think it's adding a survival mode, so it'll be an endless
Okay.
type of thing.
They'll also have shipbuilding as well.
Yeah. He said ship.
I know. It took me a second. Like, what are you talking about, man?
I don't
There's
wanna
a
see you
floater
build
on the
that.
screen.
Clean your mouth. So, I believe this is made by the same. Is this made by the same developer who did what's it called? Super Stardust HD.
I'm not sure, but it wouldn't surprise me because of how it looks, how everything kind of explodes.
Like all the particle effects.
Yeah, it looks really neat. Have you played it at all?
No.
You'll play it before you leave.
Okay. Yeah. The only PS4 game I have played is Knack.
I've heard that's not so good.
It was totally unimpressive. I played at E3. It was like I walked away from that thinking this is gonna come and go, and the only reason why anyone was even talking about it was because it was an exclusive. That's it. And I was correct. Like no one's talking about it anymore.
That's disappointing, you know, because Sony's usually really good with their exclusives, you know. But you win some and you lose some, I guess.
Yep. I mean, I guess they're trying, and didn't work out so well. But yeah, what? Anything else you want to say about Resogun?
No, not really.
Okay.
And you are right; it's the spiritual successor
Of
Super Stardust.
oh, okay.
It is the same
Same.
developer,
Yeah, they're what was it, Mark House or something like that?
Housemark.
Housemark,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, they make pretty solid games. I liked Super Stardust. I liked Outland or Outlander. I think it was Outland. Yeah, it was the
Red and Blue.
yes, Red and Blue.
Was that them?
Yes.
Huh.
Platforming
That was pretty cool.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Didn't Ubi put that out?
I think so.
Or
Yeah.
Ubi? How are you
Yes.
supposed to say it?
Ubisoft.
Whatever. Ubi.
Yes.
Ew.
So yeah, I mean they seem like a very solid developer. So wouldn't be surprised of Resogun being pretty good. So I'm going to talk about. I mean, unless you want to say anything else. Okay, I'm going to talk about. Well, real quick, I want to talk about Orcs Must Die Unchained. I'm going to talk about that for a couple minutes. Are you familiar? I know you're familiar with the Orcs Must Die. We played some together. Are you familiar with Orcs Must Die?
No.
Okay, Orcs Must Die. The first two, well, the first one was basically a tower defense game in which you play as this, what was it, a war mage?
Yeah.
Like, he's like this bro dude guy who is like the last war mage.
There's a perfect name for him. Bro dude guy.
Bro dude
Guy.
guy.
You have to have the guy.
So, so it's a combination of tower defense and third-person action because you set up traps everywhere and you get waves of orcs coming through and you have to protect this rift and prevent the orcs from getting to the rift with a combination of the traps and using your attacks, which were like this crossbow this really fast shooting crossbow, and I think he had some melee attacks too, like a sword
Yeah, I
or
think he
something
had
like
a sword.
that. So it was third person action game and tower defense. It was really cool. The second one they added co-op, and they pretty much focused a lot on the co-op because like every map was designed for like 2 people pretty
Yeah.
much. And then this third one, Orcs Must Die Unchained, they decide they're gonna make it similar to like League of Legends and Dota, like 5-on-5, except it's not like those games entirely because it focuses a lot on the defense part because you're building traps everywhere. So you have so far in the alpha. This is what I've been playing so far. The alpha of the game. There's on the map. There's pretty much like 2 lanes, kind of. They kind of intertwine with each. There's 4 lanes in all, I think, but they kind of like weave with each other. So it's kind of 2 lanes. It's really hard to describe. The map is like. I mean, it's not like straight lanes, but basically, you have one place where you have your own orcs and minions coming out, and you like each of the 5 players have to purchase their own orcs to come out of that. So if no one purchases orcs, no orcs will come out of their side. So everybody on the team has to work together, and like there's like 5 slots, one for each player, and like they all have to purchase. Okay, like I only have enough to purchase the low grade orcs, or I have a lot of money, so I'm gonna purchase these ogres instead. So each member of the team needs to work together and purchase the orcs, and then if they get enough money, they can purchase another entrance on a different lane, and do the same thing there. Have waves of enemies coming out. So you have waves of enemies coming out. The other team has waves of enemies coming out, and you have to like set up traps to stop the other team from getting to your rift. And basically, I mean, there is player versus player, but it is not. That's not the focus of the game. Like if you're gonna run around being like, oh, I'm gonna like get some headshots in. Well, I don't even think you can get headshots. But like if you're gonna run around and try like, oh, I'm gonna own some noobs today. That's not really the point of the game, and you're not gonna win that way. The way how you'll win is to like get like a big wave of enemies, send them to the other team, and run with that wave of. Did I say send a wave of enemies? I kind of got distracted. You want to send a wave of ogres and orcs. You run with those orcs and pretty much like since you're running with them, you're trying to overwhelm the other team by like attacking the individual players as your wave of minions run by. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
So far, I mean, I played like 3 matches or so, and it was pretty cool. I was hoping for it to be like Monday Night Combat or Super Monday Night Combat because, me in that game. But it doesn't play anything like the game, but it's still pretty cool. I like it. So I don't want to go too much into Orcs Must Die because I want to talk about Transistor. You beat Transistor, right?
Yeah.
You played it. Did you beat it?
I'm not beating it yet. No.
You have not beaten it?
Slackers.
So I beat it today.
Did you?
Yeah. You call me a slacker? I beat it.
I did not know that you beat it.
I beat
I
it.
apologize. Slacker.
Oh.
So I liked it. I think I like Bastion more. I don't know. It's hard to explain why. I feel like Transistor was. I don't know. Like it kept getting harder and harder, and like the character progression was like always barely enough to like keep up with the new enemies that was shown. Like, oh, now these dogs disappear.
Right.
I was like, seriously. I can't even like do my plans phase thing with disappeared.
Right.
It was like, I mean, I don't want to like go into explaining how the combat works again because it's been explained a few times on the
Right.
show. So I don't want to talk about that. But basically, in Bastion, like by the end of the game, I felt awesome. I was getting so many upgrades. In fact, before I beat the game, I was starting to turn on the tomes or shrines or whatever they were
Yeah.
that made the game more difficult. But you'd get more experience points out of it. I
Right.
never turned those things on in Transistor because I always felt like the game was hard enough as it is. Did you get that same feeling?
Yeah, like the whole just barely enough to beat. I completely agree. Because there towards the end, especially the end,
Uh-huh.
it's like, man, this kind of sucks.
Yeah, those guys,
Yeah.
like those attacks took away like 2/3 of my life or so,
Mhm.
like three-quarters of my life.
Yeah.
And like it got to the point where it's like if you mess up once, you there
You
goes
lose.
yeah, basically all your life. I did think it was interesting how they did how you lose lives in that game. Like at first, okay, when you die, when your life depletes, you lose one of your functions. And at first, I thought that it was gone forever. So
Oh, that would have sucked.
so every
Right?
time that happened to me, I paused, I went to retry, and did it all over again because I was like, no. So that's what I thought. But like I looked it up online, it said, and I was like, okay, so it does come back. So basically, like after going to like 2 more save points, you'll get it back.
Right.
And it's basically their way of like forcing you into trying the other functions rather than continuously spam the same function all
Right.
the
It's
time.
smart.
Yeah. So
It sucks, but it's smart.
yeah, I mean, I thought that was cool once I figured it out. It did. I don't think it relayed that to the game itself. Relayed that to me.
I can't remember because I beat it like within a week of it coming out. Because
Because all I remember is like when I lost
What I
health
do.
the first time, it said, I lost whatever function, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna continue.
Right?
So, but I mean, it is interesting because I believe in Bastion you had like, you had your life bar, and you had like so many potions,
yeah.
and you also had not only potions but like these lives, I guess, or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but
It's been a while.
it was more traditional.
Right. What do you think about the length of the game?
I thought it was good. It was
Of course you
definitely-
did. How many times did you retry it?
Oh, I was also doing the beach
Oh,
things for a while as well, so I think that
the
made
challenges.
that made the game a little longer for me. But I didn't finish them all because when I got to like near the end of the game, when I could tell I was near the end of the game, I was like, no, I want to go ahead and finish this. And but like it definitely did feel shorter than Bastion.
Yeah.
And yeah, overall I don't know, like I think it was really interesting, like the whole theme, like the cyberpunk, really weird trippiness of it.
Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about Cyberpunk.
Mhm.
I can't stand it.
Mhm.
I liked it. I liked the aesthetic in
Yeah.
Transistor.
Yeah.
It fit.
Mhm. Yeah, but though on the other hand, I feel like Bastion did a lot more with what it had, because like it had that whole ground coming up and forming, and like it's like a simple effect, but it was like really neat.
Bastion was just so awesome, though.
Like Transistor was kind of the opposite. Like it started out, everything's colorful, and then like eventually turned more white as like the thing spread.
Right.
And I like Cyberpunk a lot, but like Bastion was just really interesting. Like it was like you can't even describe it. Like I mean like if you say something is steampunk, then you know exactly what it looks like. You can't say, oh, Bastion is post-apocalyptic fantasy, and you know what it means. What the heck is, you know what I mean? It makes no sense.
No.
But like, I don't know, like I thought the story of Bastion was a little more, like I was more into that one. The gameplay I had a lot more fun with it. I felt more powerful by the very end of the game. I felt like I was a beast.
Well, one thing about Bastion compared to Transistor is Bastion's a lot quicker
Yeah.
than Transistor. Transistor has that slow planning style, and Bastion's just, I hit a button and it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like take away from Transistor because what it does is very unique.
Right.
And it's really fun and it's really cool. But like, and like also you gotta give them a lot of credit for making a whole new world. Like obviously Supergiant Games is really good at making these completely unique worlds that they don't even bring in aspects from our world.
Right.
They're like, okay, let's start from scratch. What happens when people die?
Yeah.
We have, I mean, we know in our world when people die, they're gone for good.
Right.
We have our beliefs as to what happens
Right.
to them afterwards. But like, they scrap all that. They're like, okay, this is what happens when people die in this world. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, just everything. It's just really cool how they come up with their own universe.
Yeah.
What do you think, James?
That's what I think.
How far did you get into that game?
Just a little bit past the first level, just right when you get like the change of heart beam, where you make the enemy fight.
Okay, so did you get to Sybil?
No.
Okay. She's like the first boss, I believe, right? Yeah. Because the other ones aren't, like the other enemies before that aren't really bosses.
No.
I thought it was very interesting how they made different enemies in which some you can do the whole planning phase against them, and then others like Young Lady, like you can't do the planning phase against Young Lady.
Right.
Because Young Lady, as soon as you hit her once, she'll teleport somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you can't do the planning phase against her. I mean, like you can up to the first hit.
Right.
But then after that, you might as well like, save up the rest of your juice for recharging for the next planning phase. So I mean, I think it was a really cool game. So far, one of the best games I've played this year, but that's not really saying much since I played very few games this year.
Don't worry, in a couple weeks, Magic 2015 should come out.
There goes another. How many hours do you have in that game in 2014?
I don't know.
You always bring up how many hours he has.
How many hours have you played in real Magic? Huh? Not
as many as you think.
There you go.
Probably more than he has on the game.
So,
how much money have you spent on real Magic?
A lot more than he has.
I rest my case.
There you go. But yeah, Transistor is really cool. So far, the best best games I played this year are not even done yet. You know what I'm talking about. Wolf Among Us.
Oh, yeah.
Walking Dead.
Yeah,
they're not done yet.
Not yet. They need to hurry.
They do.
When does the Telltale Borderlands come out?
This year. And Game of Thrones. It's supposed to come out this year. I'm assuming those two will come out after Wolf Among Us and Walking Dead are finished.
I would hope so.
That's what I'm assuming.
Just because I'm ready to finish those.
Yep. So, let's move on and talk about DreamHost real quick, because I like DreamHost. I'm a big fan of DreamHost. I use DreamHost. They are a web service. They offer unlimited storage, unlimited bandwidth, user-friendly interface. They're optimized to use content managers such as WordPress and Content5, and many more features. All that just for $8.95 US a month. Use the promo code OUTOFCONTINUES. That's one word, out of continues. There's no spaces in between. It will waive the setup fee and get you a free domain registration. So if you want to start your own website, do something online, make a portfolio, do a podcast, the DreamHost is definitely a good service to use. I mean, I've had no problems with them for the past close to 3 years.
I think I'm going to start up my own podcast. No more continues.
Awesome. So anyways, moving on, let's go to announcements real quick. We could use some iTunes reviews. So if you use iTunes, or if you have a computer or iPad or iPhone, whatever, anything, anything that can run iTunes, I would really appreciate if you made an account and left a review. Honest review. You doesn't need to be 5-star, but preferably 5-star. Leave a review. It would really help out the show, because Apple, they only care about how many reviews the show gets right now this week, and so like even if I got negative, or not negative, low review scores, that would still help out, because at least it would be somewhere on the charts.
Low scores are better than no scores?
Yeah, low scores are better than no scores. So, it helps out the show. So, please leave an iTunes review. I mean, if you don't want to do iTunes, then at least, like and follow the Facebook and Twitter and share. That would help out the show as well. The other announcement I have is the videos on YouTube are now going up whenever. I'm no longer doing Wednesdays, because I realized that if I record a video on a Saturday or Sunday, like today, and then I put the video on private after I finish recording, and then I make it public on a Wednesday, it doesn't show up on people's subscription feed. So I'm just going to let the video just go up whenever I record it, and that's it. So
we're doing it live.
Not quite, but close enough.
Whatever. I'm doing it live.
So anyways, our main topic, we're going to be talking about Steam events.
Yay!
Yay! It's the most wonderful time of the year.
My wallet disagrees.
Oh, you're looking for a miracle? Holidays are coming. Holidays are coming. So anyways.
You better put that in the show notes.
No.
Put it in the show notes. I'll tweet it if you don't.
So as we know already, Steam Summer Sale, man, this is so hot in here, sweating my face off because of Steam Summer Sale. I'm gonna screen share real quick and go to screen share on Steam. There you go. Start screen share, and as you can see, you got your daily deals. You got your flash sales. Get Sleeping Dogs. You want to.
It's a really good price for it.
Excellent price for it. Hey, it's like $7 if you want like all the DLC too. You got your community choice. Did I vote for something? Oh yeah, I definitely voted for something. And we got this crazy summer adventure. So every Steam sale, or not Steam event, that's been going on for the past few years has been having some kind of a meta game going on to it. Because Valve has turned buying games into a game itself. Am I right?
Yeah, you're pretty dead on there.
So this time, what they're doing is if you vote on 3 community choices, or if you craft a badge, or what else? What's the other criteria? Buy enough things? Is that
every $10 you get back.
and
Get
every
a card.
$10? Okay, so every. Why is this not even loading? This is bogus. Okay, so you will get a card, and whenever you like craft 10 of these cards for the summer adventure, or do other things, you'll get points. Points add up, and as you can see, my team is finally winning.
Go Pink!
Right?
My team is winning, but like, the crazy thing is, all the other teams are like practically
Dead even.
dead even. Look at that. Just it's so ridiculous. How do you like go to the
Go to
previous?
the daily points breakdown.
Okay. So basically, whichever team wins, like everybody gets 2 cards, and 30 people will get 3 games from their.
View previous day to go back.
Okay, yeah, and 30 people will get 3 games from their wish list. So 30 people out of what, several thousand people? It's not many.
Probably.
Yeah, not many. It's a very small percentage.
Yeah.
This is just so weird though, because like, as you can see right here today, Pink is way in the lead.
Go back 2 days. What day?
Yesterday,
2.
Green was way in the lead. Everyone else was, far behind, dead even. 2 days ago, there was somewhat of a competition between the top 2, but then the rest were dead even. And day 1,
Purple.
I don't know. Purple was definitely in the lead, and the rest there was like an arc. It
Red
wasn't
team
dead even.
slacking.
So I don't know. Like it's really weird. It's like, is this rigged or something? It is also really weird because of the fact that you have the items you can purchase, such as steal points from other teams or switch to other teams.
Have you looked at the prices on those? They're ridiculous.
Well, I saw steal 100 points from another team was like 92 cents.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad. Might do it now. Not gonna do it now.
Gonna go to the market.
Keep talking.
But yeah, I mean, they're like each time they do one of these events, they do something new and something crazy, and I don't know if I really like it. The last one that I really liked was the Steam Summer Camp, which was what'd you say? Was 2011?
I'm pretty sure that's what my badge says is 2011.
2011. The Steam Summer Camp. Let's not look up my items I have for sale because they're lame. Summer adventure items. Yeah, the summer camp I really liked because that one, it was like there's like certain achievements for certain games, and you had to do those achievements. So it was encouraging you to play the games first of all, and then when you play those games and got the achievements, you got these tickets, and you use those tickets to redeem prizes. Some of them were DLC for certain games. Some of them were actual games, and I thought it was really fun. It like encouraged me to play games. It was really fun trying to get the tickets. I didn't like there was an overall like one person's gonna win every game on Steam.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's like the whole Willy Wonka thing that you wish that you could win, but you're not gonna win. But
It ain't ever gonna happen.
But the rest of it was still fun though.
Yeah.
This, on the other hand, it's like, okay, 30 people each day is gonna win 3 games, which is still, I mean, like, it'd be awesome to win those 3 games on your wish list, but like, still, that's a really small percentage, especially with how Steam has grown in the past few years. A lot more people use Steam now than they did in 2011.
Right.
But like, during that 2011 summer camp, I was guaranteed to actually win something.
Right.
I was guaranteed to win. It might not be the most extravagant prize, but it's still a prize. It was fun.
Give you that gold ship.
Yep.
The
And
winner
Beat Hazard.
Yeah, the Winter Cell, what they do, give like different content to different games. So you got like a helmet.
Which Winter Cell? The last one?
Yeah, the last Winter Cell.
Is that the coal? When you crafted the coal?
The coal was like 2 years ago, I think.
Can't remember. My head hurts.
That one I hated. I hated the coal.
Yeah, that was my first sale I actually got involved in, was the one with coal.
Oh man, the coal was so bad.
Well, I think that was the same year as the summer camp, wasn't it? Maybe?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because I remember it went from something really awesome to something terrible. Come on now. And like, at a certain point, they ran out of prizes.
Yeah.
Because like, all they had were coupons off of Valve games.
Yeah, and people would just go and trade the coal. Because I think that was right after they implemented the trade system.
Yeah. So, okay, here's a blue token for about $4.50. And this basically switches you over to the blue team, right?
Right.
Let's look at some other stuff. on
Pink
here.
team's in the lead. Just sell it for
Yeah, so
for $6.24 right now.
yeah.
You can buy the
Steal 500 points for $4.50. So okay, so this, I don't get this. Like, is this basically just subtracting points from another team, and then this is adding 500 points to your team?
I think the steal is subtracting from their team and giving it to you because
Yeah, because that's what stealing means.
right. That's what I'm saying.
But why would you get the boost when you could just steal, and it's cheaper?
Oh,
James, explain it to me.
Maybe you just want to be a nice guy.
Who wants to be nice in a cutthroat competition?
who wants to be nice on the internet? Let's not beat around the bush here.
that reminds me. I was playing the Battlefield beta, the hardline, and like in the chat. Okay, I was playing with Kevin, aka half of the Great Khali. And I was in the chat. I typed to everybody. I was like, "I'm with your mother right now, all of your mothers."
Stop a trolling.
And then like people at the
Great
end of the
job.
game, people were like GG, and I was like, "Your mom GG'd last night."
Oh.
And that guy was like, "That doesn't even make any sense." I was like, "Or does it?" And then Kevin was like, "You're playing Battlefield, not Call of Duty." But yeah, what was your favorite Steam event?
I think mine's the same as yours, the summer camp,
Mm-hmm.
because how they had you play a game, get achievement. I can't remember, was it get an achievement, get a ticket, or was it get like 3 achievements and then get a ticket?
I can't remember.
I think it was 3
Okay.
tickets, or 3 achievements, then you get a ticket. I think.
I
don't know.
I can't
Dude,
remember.
it's been a couple years.
Yeah.
Been a day or two.
And you weren't in it at all. You said you came in at the Cole.
Yeah.
Summer
Coal
camp
Train.
was before.
Woo woo.
Summer camp was before the Cole.
Right.
But yeah, the summer camp was my favorite.
Yeah, I remember before that they also had I think the first one they had was the potato one,
Oh yeah,
because that was like leading up to Portal 2.
Portal 2.
And it was like the potato sack. You
Yeah.
bought these certain games that had achievements,
Potatoes
And then-
added to them or something.
and then they had that Thanksgiving sale where you got like the hat with the chest on it
Yeah.
that looked goofy.
Hats.
I'm gonna buy this just for the show. No, I'm not gonna buy it. That's too much money. What do you think, James? What's your experience so far with these events?
Like I said, I really like the winter one because that's the one I was mostly involved in.
Hmm.
Was last winter.
Okay.
So I really, this one I bought my first game today, and you were sitting right next to me.
Like, do you feel like these events encourage you to like participate more in the sales itself, like buy more games or
Yeah,
what?
that's what it is. It's like you guys said, make a game out of a game, and you're always wanting different and neat stuff, like they did in the winter one, where you get different exclusives.
Hmm.
So that's one of the big reasons why I bought more stuff last year, to try to get some of the ultra rare items.
Hmm.
See, I still feel that the summer camp, because you got to pick what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, the items might not have been as great. I mean, Alien Breed 2, woo!
It was still a game though.
But I got a game.
Yeah.
I got a free game.
Yeah. A game for playing games.
Yeah, and then the achievements and stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's just
Spend more
Vote.
money.
spend money like we need it.
Yeah, and I also feel like not just with me, but like a lot of like PC users in general, or people use Steam in general. I feel like a lot of us have gotten suckered into this so badly that we own most of the good games on Steam by now,
Yes.
and therefore the sales themselves are less impressive just because we
Already own everything
yeah,
on there.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the sale today, and I've got the majority of the stuff that I would want. I'm not going to spend $40 on a game. Why? Why when I can wait 6 months and it'll be 10?
Yeah, let me
Probably not even that
go
long.
back to the store page and show that on the screen again, or if like it will show.
And also with the being suckered into buying games, with all the bundles and stuff out there now, you have a lot of the smaller games that go on sale too.
Yeah.
So what's
Yeah, so okay, I got this on the front page. Got BattleBlock Theater, which is a new game, so not many people own that.
which
right?
all three of us bought today?
Yeah, because of the fact it's a new game.
Right.
It just got added to Steam like what, a month or two ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Borderlands 2. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who have not bought Borderlands 2 previously probably bought that because that's fairly new also.
Mm-hmm.
I already owned it. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I have that on PS3 and have not played it, so why am I going to buy that on PC?
In all honesty, that's a really good price for
Yeah.
that game.
I mean, it was tempting because I know it's going to run better on my PC,
Right.
but like, why am I going to spend more money on a game I already own?
And all the DLC, if you get the collection, it's only $10.
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh, wow.
that's an awesome deal for that game.
Doesn't some of the DLC break the game, like make it too easy? Some of the items?
Not from what I remember, but it's
Been a
been a
while.
while.
Okay, we got Outlast. I'm not into horror games.
I'm not either, but why would I buy it when I have that from PlayStation Plus on
Yeah.
my PS4?
It's a fairly new game, so I think some people are buying that because it's a good discount.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, it's
75% off.
Right.
We have Planetary Annihilation, which is no longer $99. So I'm pretty sure that the
yeah, that's the game I was telling you about that your uncle has.
Oh God.
Yeah.
What
Anyway.
was he thinking?
I'm
Sorry.
pretty sure people are buying that one that were interested in it because this is the cheapest it's ever been, though it is an early access game, which
Yeah.
means it's not finished yet. South Park: Stick of Truth. I feel like South Park fans have already purchased this game when it came out
Yeah.
because they're South Park fans. If you're not a South Park fan like me,
I would
Yeah.
like to get it. I'm not the biggest South Park fan, but I'll giggle at the stupidity every now and then.
Right.
But I'm not gonna spend $40 to giggle.
Right.
yeah, I used to be more into South Park, and I don't know if my taste in humor changed or what, but like the last South Park episode I I watched, there was one scene I remember, chuckling at, and that's it.
Right.
I chuckled once throughout the entire episode, and I was like, okay, this is
Well,
not funny.
with South Park, it's one of those things where you gotta like shut off your maturity
Hmm.
and just be immature. And it's like laughing at a fart joke
I can laugh at fart jokes.
if they're done
But-
right.
Yes. Wolf Among Us, awesome
Oh,
deal.
that's an awesome
Pick
deal.
that up.
Do I have to? I already have it.
Pick it up again. Do it.
Oh,
Tomb Raider is an awesome deal.
That is an awesome
yeah,
deal.
it is.
Metal Gear Rising, that's a pretty good deal too. That game's awesome. But like, the problem with the sales though is a lot of these games. Well, not today's. Today there's only one game that's early access. Yesterday's, like let me scroll down to yesterday's deals. You have 1, 2, 3 games that are early access, and one of those, and another game, a fourth game, should be in early access because people are saying, from what I hear, they're not happy with the content and it's very buggy and it should still be in early access. So, I mean, that's pretty nuts that like all these early access games are like flash sales and daily deals and community choice.
Right.
I mean, that's where they're going towards, putting these early access games because of the fact that a lot of people own the majority of the good games to begin with.
Now, me and you had a conversation about it earlier on.
Yeah.
You seem like you're pretty against the early access games. Like
Yes.
it's kind of you're not going to buy it.
Yeah. I don't like early access. I feel like a lot of the games coming out are broke, and that makes sense because it is either an alpha or a beta of the game, but you don't know whether the developer will even finish the game.
I agree, but it's the same. I look at early access the same way as I do as, like I said when I was talking to you earlier, Kickstarter. You're not sure if those are going to get finished. Those concepts sometimes are going to get finished. Those games sometimes. If a game looks promising on early access and the price is right,
Hmm.
why not pick it up? It'll be cheaper in early access than it is when it's fully released on Steam. If it looks promising. If it looks like trash,
I also feel like these games that are in early access are not clearly labeled. Like, yeah, when you click on the game itself, let me
I
click on
agree.
this game, it will show whenever it loads up.
I think that they should have a little banner at the bottom or on the top saying early access.
Like, it'll say early access right here, and that's pretty much it. Like, outside of that, there's no indication that it is an incomplete game. Like, if I'm looking at this front page, and I'm like, look at all these complete games. Better yet, let me scroll down. There we go. Look at all of these complete games right here. 7 Days to Die, that sounds like it's a finished game. I'm buying it. You know?
Mm.
Oh,
They pimp the
no.
fun in games.
They do. I'm not gonna keep down the video. Don't want to keep a trailer on here.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just don't like early access. I don't like how they are mashing early access with complete games. Like there's no filter to keep out early access games, and a lot of people are being tricked into buying games that are incomplete.
You can't blame them though. You
Da-
can't
Da-
blame Steam.
DayZ, the developers for DayZ, like they outright said, they're like, look, they're like, look, our game is not finished. We're constantly changing the game. Do not buy this game unless you want to be part of the process of us working on this game, if you want to help us make this game. Other than that, don't buy this game thinking it's a complete game. And a lot of people are buying it thinking it's a complete game. Like a lot of people on Reddit or whatever, oh my god, DayZ! Woo, I'm gonna like run with no pants on and whatever.
That's
Hijack
disturbing.
people. Oh, no, that's Rust running with no pants on.
Yeah.
Either way.
But I think that it should have a banner or whatever on the bottom.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But at the same time, the people that are buying the early access games and then going and complaining that it's not a finished game, they should know what they're buying.
Hmm.
It's not 100% Steam's fault, Valve's fault, the developer's fault,
they
whatever.
could do a much better job
I completely agree.
sorting their store.
I agree. I think that the early access should have its own separate thing.
It's like okay, when you go to a video rental place, you have like the what's it called, the swinging door or the whatever, the curtain that you walk behind, and that's where all the adult stuff is
I knew
at.
you were going with
Okay,
that.
so like they have that completely segmented off in another world. It's not like they put all the adult material next to Barney and Friends.
Are you sure?
know?
We must go to 2 different video rental places.
They still have rental places?
Family Video right there on Rockville.
That's true.
Yeah,
They're expanding.
they're expanding.
How?
I don't know. They're going to expand into Redbox.
Said like 105 new stores.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is there are ways to separate. Like make a okay, you can see on the screen right now all these tabs. There's featured.
Hey, you go to games, early access right there.
You know what? Early access should be its own tab.
I agree. That's
it should
what
be
I was
its
going
own
to say.
tab, not with games. It should be its own tab. Like you got software demos. It should be after demos, early access.
I agree. But again, the early access games on the store page, it's clearly marked that it's early access. Big old blue banner that says early access.
What's your thoughts, James?
I don't really have a thought on this.
Of course not.
Make up some thoughts.
I don't really have a thought because I don't normally buy unfinished games.
What games are you anticipating to be on sale on the rest of this Steam sale?
On this Steam sale, actually, I have to look. I hadn't.
Grid 2.
It's already been on sale.
Yeah, I was gonna say you told me it was on
Grid
sale.
3.
Isn't it like Autosport or something like that?
I was making something up.
You are
So,
always making something.
you know what? It is so hot in here, I'm ready to move on.
Right?
I am ready to stop the screen share. We're back. Hey! It is hot up in here. You notice how much shinier we are now
I mean, look at me.
than we
It's
were,
bad.
before our screen sharing. So anyways, we're going on to news. You guys ready for news, right?
Sure.
All right. So, let me start screen sharing the news. The
Okay.
first news topic I got, if I can get this on here, screen share. Bam. No, that. There you go. Start screen share. Okay, the world's largest video game collection has sold for 7,500,250.
Huh?
What?
700.
750,000?
Yeah, the numbers. 700,050. 750,250. That's how much it sold for. You guys are jerks, you know that? Hey, your nose is bleeding, dude. So anyways, this dude over here, as you can see, I should probably stop screen sharing and just show Adam instead. You can't collect yourself long enough. You alright?
I'm good.
Alright. So, alright, the guy he had the Guinness record for the world's largest collection like 6 months ago, and then he decided to put it up on eBay and sell it. Alright, and he sold it for 750,250. Alright, you happy?
Right.
Okay. So some stats on that. He sold over 11,000 games. And so that averages to $68 per game. Which, I mean, I'm no like mathematician, obviously. But that doesn't seem like a lot of money to me, because the average cost of a retail game today is $60 before tax.
Right.
$68 per game. That sounds like he's practically breaking even.
Maybe.
I mean, like, also you got to take consideration. Well, some games are cheaper than $60. Some games back in the day were more expensive.
Well, you got
So-
consoles in there too.
Yeah, you got consoles, but though I mean, just the games itself, he had 11,000 games. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like a profitable hobby.
No.
Like if you are in game collecting, thinking, oh, this Master Chief helmet's gonna be worth a ton in the future.
Right.
Obviously, it's not. I mean, like, as you can see here, this Guinness record-breaking collection did not make. I mean, like, it sounded like he. I mean, obviously, he didn't lose money, but maybe. But he's not. He's obviously not like. It's not like what was the lottery? It's not like he like won the lottery.
Right.
You know what I mean? He didn't even make $1 million.
Right.
And plus, I believe eBay takes out a percentage.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, you gotta think some of those games and stuff, you could pull some serious money from them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, $750,000 is quite a bit,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
I
like,
don't know.
if he sold those individually, he'd probably make a lot more money.
It'd be a
like,
lot harder to sell, though.
Yeah, it would,
Right.
but
Maybe.
I mean, like a lot of N64 games, like the best stuff, go for like $100.
Yeah.
Like your Zelda and Mario and the game that you hate, Conquer. Those are like $100 each right there.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Oh, me.
What do you think? No, I'm not talking to the listeners of the show. I'm talking to you guys.
Are you
What do
sure?
you think? What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I think that he possibly could have made more money if he would have broke it up. I think it would have been easier to sell some of them,
Mm-hmm.
harder to sell some others.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if the dude was hurting for money or had to sell it because he didn't have room to store it anymore,
Mm-hmm.
good for him for selling it and
Right.
getting some money.
Yeah, I think he could have possibly made more if he bundled them up as far per console.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's a Neo Geo and all the games I got for Neo Geo.
Right.
I think he would have probably made a lot more that way. But like, also you got to take into consideration there'd be more people willing to bid on a smaller bundle of games than there are people willing to bid on the world's largest game collection.
Right.
You know,
Did it say how much shipping cost?
I don't know. I mean,
Wow.
one of the dudes from Oculus, obviously they made $2 billion from
Right.
selling the company. He was bidding on it for a little bit until it got a little out of hand, and he was like, "Nope, Can't do this. So I mean that's another thing you gotta take into consideration, that there not many people are gonna bid on the world's largest game collection.
Right.
Um, but overall, I think this just shows that if you are collecting games for the sake of thinking it's going to be worth something in the future, I don't invest your money elsewhere. That's what I think. I don't know. I have no job and no money, so don't take financial advice from me. So that's that article. Let's move on and talk about Miyamoto for a minute. So Miyamoto, he got asked about the Wii U, the gamepad, and he was asked about if having two gamepads, the touchscreen gamepad, if having two of them would, if we're going to see that sometime in the near future, because in the past, like sometime last year, they said that it was possible, and obviously it's still not there yet. So they was asked about it again, and basically he said he doesn't feel it's realistic for people to buy more than one controller at this point. They're more focusing on selling systems right now rather than trying to sell controllers. They feel like they can do it technically, but they have no games designed for it at this point, and they don't want to drain their resources developing these games at this point because of the fact that they don't feel like they have a market or an audience for these games. So they'd rather focus their
They
resources.
don't have a market for a Wii U.
That's what he said. Like he wants to
Right.
focus on selling the Wii U instead.
Right.
So what do you think?
I think it's pointless to even be talking about it because they don't. What's the point of having dual game pads for it right now? I mean, how many Wii U's have they sold?
How many have they sold? I know that number is still larger than Xbox One.
You did it again.
What?
You turned on my
his
Xbox.
Oh. I didn't even tell it on. I just said Xbox One.
And it listened.
So
Doesn't
Please play me. Please play me.
let's go to Wikipedia, since that's obviously the most the most reliable resource on the internet.
Well, they did just come out with Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it helped quite a bit.
Boosted the sales up to 10.
You might want to get closer to the mic if you're going to be talking.
Boosted the sales up to 10.
Yeah. So keep saying something as I'm looking for it.
I mean, it's just if they're more than the Xbox One, obviously they're not even close to touching the PS4. But it's just sad because they had a year head start.
They sold 6.17 million, while the Xbox One.
I mean,
Units sold 3 million. So, wait. Yeah, 3 million as of December. So that's like 6 months ago, though.
right.
Right, now you can get them, $100 cheaper without the Kinect.
Did that start yet?
Yeah, it's already started. It started, I think, before E3.
5 million shipped to retailers as of April 1st. So that's still less sales than the Wii U. The Wii U is still ahead of the Xbox One, but still, like they still don't have a good rate of sales compared to other consoles. Like it's still one of the worst selling consoles right now.
Right.
And as Miyamoto said, they are focusing their resources on what they got, and focusing on selling more consoles rather than selling more controllers. I personally think, now this is just dumb stuff who can't even say numbers right. I personally think they should drop that controller. That's what I think. Because I'm pretty sure most of those games can be played without that controller. I played, last E3, not this year's E3, but the E3 of 2013. I played quite a few games at the Nintendo booth, and all of them I was able to play, without touchscreen. So I think they should make an SKU of the Wii U without the controller, with using their the Pro Pad, or what do they call it, the Pro Gamepad,
something like that.
Gamepad Pro, whatever it is, and drop the price at that point, because I have not been I haven't been convinced that the touchscreen gamepad is essential.
Right.
It just seems like something that they're tagging on to make it more expensive, unnecessarily more expensive.
How much are one of those new?
I don't think they sell them separately.
No, I meant the whole Wii U itself.
$350? $350? $350.
I'm not sure. I mean, the only bad thing about them getting rid of the gamepad, whatever you want to call it, is that it basically has remote play with some of the games, like the PS4 remote play. Which I can see how that would be nice.
That is a gimmick more than something that's essential. That's like
right,
that would be like if Sony was selling the PS4 with a Vita in it.
Yeah, that
people will be like, why am I buying this? I just want the PS4. I don't want the Vita.
Right.
Didn't they see before the Sony panel, when we were watching it, didn't they say what was in France that they were selling them as a bundle?
Yeah, there is a bundle with PS4 and
yeah, that's a bundle though. That's not like the only choice though.
Right. But I mean, it would suck for some of the games, because some of the games use it, don't they? From what I've seen on some of them, they do.
I mean,
use the gamepad.
Like, okay, I played like Super Mario 3D Land or 3D World, and there was things you can do with the gamepad, like you move this hand around, like you could stop a bullet bill.
Right.
But you don't need it. It's not essential. It's not like I cannot play the game without it. Bayonetta 2, I was able to play that 100% without the touchscreen, and there was like another control scheme in which it was 100% touchscreen for people who are like not used to buttons. So it was optional though, and it was not essential to playing the game. That's what I think. What do you think? What do you think, James?
I think I need to peel my shirt off my skin.
Keep your shirt on while the camera's rolling.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Unless you guys want to add anything else, I'm moving on.
I'm done with Nintendo.
Nintendo. Alright. I'm going to talk about Capcom real quick. So, big news came from Capcom. I'm going to screen share this. No, it's just a Capcom logo. No need to screen share it. So, big news came from Capcom this week, and they are abandoning its stock takeover defense plan and now open to buyout, which basically means that it's up for sale. Capcom, you can be a proud owner of Capcom today. Do you have the money, James?
No.
Check your back pocket. I'm pretty sure you got like maybe a 1 or a 2.
$20.
Sold.
Yes. I don't feel like there's anything in return.
So, yeah, Capcom's been in trouble. I mean, like, they showed nothing at E3 other than that, like, Dead Rising 3,
Super Ultra EX Alpha
yeah, cash-in edition.
Turbo.
Something, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's all they showed at E3, and they are obviously in trouble. You know, they have mentioned, what was it, like, several months back, that they don't even have enough money to make Street Fighter 4 for the new consoles. So, yeah. Like a day before they put up for sale, Yoshinori Ono, who is like one of the lead developers of the company, he was like the lead for Street Fighter 4, and he's also the director for other stuff. He left like a day before this news came up, and he was basically saying, I want to take a break, watch the World Cup, and reevaluate my career. And bam, Capcom up for sale. You know, I mean, Capcom doesn't really have any like, top developers anymore. Like, I mean, like big name guys anymore, because Yoshi was pretty much their last guy. What's his name? The dude who made Mega Man. All Japanese names are the same to me.
That's racist.
Right?
The dude who made Mega Man, he's left Capcom a while back, and working on his Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
So.
Mega Man.
Yeah, Mega Man. So I mean, like who they got left there? Nobody really. Whoever made that Resident Evil 6. They still got him or them. What do you guys think?
Well, we were talking about earlier what Nintendo was in talks of buying them.
Don't look at me.
Did Nintendo mention?
I don't know.
I heard it from a friend today that Nintendo was in talks.
I hear
of buying
people are wanting Nintendo to buy them, but I don't think Nintendo will, because Nintendo has been losing money. They had like $10 billion, like 5 years ago or so, and now they have like $4 billion.
Yeah.
And so they've been losing money, and I don't think their stockholders want them to make a big purchase. That's one. Two, they didn't even bid on Atlas, which is like one of the top studios of Japan right now.
Right.
Three, when has Nintendo done a smart executive choice in the past 10 years? I don't think they're going to even bid.
It would suck if they did and they got it.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, it would absolutely suck, because Capcom has a lot of IPs that are really good, and I don't want to buy a console just for, well, crap, that Nintendo bought Capcom. I can't play anything from Capcom on any system because Nintendo owns them.
What if Microsoft buys them? What do you guys think?
Well, I'm not hurting. I've already got a Xbox One.
Honestly, I think it would suck if one of the big three bought it.
I don't see Sony buying them.
Yeah, because Sony's not doing.
I don't think
in the
Sony's
best
in the
shape either.
Yeah, they're not.
Right.
I don't think they're in position to be acquiring such a large company. I mean, like, if it was just like one studio, Sony would probably do it. But
Right.
Capcom is not just one studio. They are a large company. They got studios everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't see. I could see Microsoft doing it. I can't see Sony or Nintendo doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the world that we've come to. That though it's either be AAA or be indie.
Yeah.
There's no more existing in the middle. There's no more THQs, Midways. Apparently, no more Capcoms.
which is just crazy.
Hmm.
I mean, just think about what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, let that sink in.
Yeah, because
No more THQ. No more Midway. Midway.
Midway.
And Capcom is going down.
Capcom, like back in the PS2 days, was, I would say, like back then, I would have easily said Capcom is my favorite publisher.
right.
You know, I would have easily said, if you came to me back then and said, who makes the best games right now, I'd be like, Capcom. All day, every day. And then they made a lot of bad choices, especially with DLC. Made a lot of their DLC was not even downloadable content. It was disc locked content. You know, they made a bunch of bad choices that like just pretty much angered the fans.
Yeah.
And I think that's what got them in this position to begin with.
Yeah. I think another thing that really annoyed the fans was how many iterations of Street Fighter 4 can you have before you just completely alienate your audience? You know what I mean? I mean, Street Fighter 4, what was next? Super Street Fighter 4,
Yeah.
then Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade
Arcade,
Edition,
and now Ultra.
and now Ultra Street Fighter
Yeah.
4. It's ridiculous.
That first one, the first upgrade, the first DLC, the Super Street Fighter 4,
Yeah.
I was pretty much like, I remember a lot of people being very angry about it, and I was like being an apologist. I was like, look, man, they're only doing this once.
But I mean, at the same time, they've always done that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was like, oh, they've done this before, and they're just doing it. It's DLC. Was it DLC? I can't. No, it wasn't DLC. No, I was like, oh, it was not DLC. It was you had to buy the game again. And I was like, they're adding so many new characters. It's gonna make up for it. It's almost like a new game. So
I remember you saying that too.
Yeah, and then Arcade Edition. I was like, Capcom, you're making me look like a lawyer. And now they got Ultra coming in. I'm like, come on now. Come on.
I think that and the disc locked content
Yeah.
completely. That and just how bad Resident Evil 6 was.
Yeah. You remember the disc lock content on Resident Evil 5?
No.
They had a versus mode, like an online multiplayer,
Yeah.
and it was locked on the disc, and they sold it as DLC. And people were angry about that. And I was like, Capcom, stop. Stop it. You're fired.
Well,
Oh boy.
there ain't nobody left to fire, really. They're the
Right?
big guys. I mean, what really sucks is if somebody swoops in and buys them up just for the IPs. I mean, just the IPs alone. Let them
Right.
go for a couple years, don't do nothing with them, then bring the mighty return of Resident Evil.
Mm.
You know, I mean, it sucks. Because I remember, Street Fighter 2 for the SNES, man.
Yeah.
Playing that back in the day. It sucks.
Yeah, I've said on the show before that I used to be more of a Street Fighter guy, but then the combination of both Capcom being Capcom and NetherRealm just making an awesome game just swayed me over to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, do you know that what was it? I think it was Valhalla Studios or whatever, the company that purchased Darksiders during the THQ
Mm-hmm.
buyout.
Wasn't that
Or
Nordic?
not- yeah, Nordic. That's what it is. Yeah, yeah.
Same thing.
It's still.
I know what you meant.
I think Valhalla is Itagaki's studio. But anyways, Nordic. They now got the rights to use the THQ logo on their games that they're publishing
Why?
Why?
because no one knows what Nordic is, and people know what THQ is. Which is sad, though. It's sad seeing that this is what THQ became.
Yeah.
Like, it's like throwing like a dead carcass at a bunch of hyenas, and then just like and then it's like, oh, I got the THQ. I got the logo.
Yay!
So yeah, let's talk about Crytek. There's a rumor going around. I don't think there's anything official said about this yet. It's just rumor. The rumor is Crytek is in trouble. Basically, the CryEngine is they're having a low adoption rate on it. The development on Rise was catastrophic. Sales on Crysis 3 was not very good. What was that? Their other game, Warface, their free to play game, not doing too well for them. And that's pretty sad though, because Crytek, I liked Crysis 3. I thought it was a really solid game. You know, the graphics looked amazing. The game was fun. And it's just sad that this is, you know, that they're having trouble. I think they put too much, you know, they put all their eggs in one basket on the whole CryEngine thing,
Yeah.
because I mean, this, even though it's a really powerful engine, their resources is, or not, like their resource library for it is not very good, like for the developers, compared to like Unreal 4.
Right.
Like, it's half the price of Unreal 4. Unreal 4 is $20 a month. CryEngine is $10 a month. I ended up purchasing Unreal 4 because, you know, it's a lot easier for, you know, people like myself who, you know, want to use a visual scripting. They have a lot larger library of resources and examples, and, you know, just a better product for, you know,
The price.
yeah. And but I don't know. It's sad seeing that Crytek is in trouble. What do you guys think?
I didn't even know they had their own engine until just now.
Fired.
I am fired.
You're fired.
I didn't ever care for the Crysis games
Mhm.
because I'm not into shooters.
Yeah.
But the way I feel about it, I feel that just the Crytek side, the CryEngine,
Yeah.
I feel it's better for developers to have more tools to use, whether they want to use this engine, that engine, they can choose.
Yeah.
With Crytek, if they're in trouble, that's possibly one less engine that developers have
Yeah. I mean, like,
to use.
id, you know, with their what were they at, like id Tech 5 or id Tech 6? I don't even know what they're
I
at
have no
anymore.
idea.
Like, they pretty much gave up on trying to market that, and Bethesda was like, okay, we'll just use this technology internally within our own studio instead,
Right.
because they're having a hard time marketing it against UDK. And UDK was like pretty much the bomb for a while until Unity became a lot better, and more indie developers and, you know, people trying to get into gaming or game development started using Unity. And now Unreal 4 is like, okay, we gotta compete with Unity because we can't just, you know, try to get our engine with the AAA games. We gotta get our engine with the little guys as well. So they made,
Get affordable.
yeah, well, more affordable but also easier.
Right.
Easier and do more things like browser and mobile games and all that. So, it basically comes down to either Unity and Unreal 4 at this point, and all these other options like whatever id was doing and CryEngine and just not cutting it. I mean, it's unfortunate because, as you're saying, more options is better, but it just seems like there are like two really intuitive and easy to use engines out, and that just made it way more difficult for anyone else to market their engine. You know about engines, don't you, James?
Car engines?
Vroom.
AC repair?
Yep. That's what we need.
I was going to say.
That's what we need. All right, let's get this out of here. Let's talk about Capcom again and more mistakes with
Oh, boy.
Resident Evil 6. So, well, I'm tired of showing us on here. Let's
Okay,
let's
bye,
get
us.
Mila Jovovich on the screen instead. There we go. So, new Resident Evil film coming called Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. I didn't even know that they were at 6.
I didn't either.
Me either.
Apparently, the most recent Resident Evil movie, which came out in 2012, Retribution, grossed $240 million worldwide. All movies together has been $916 million worldwide. So that's practically a $1 billion
That's
franchise.
some cheddar right there.
I guess people just like bad movies or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Well, they got a lot of Resident Evil fans.
I think the last one I watched was the second one. I don't know. Which one was the one with the dude with the 2 gold guns? Is that the second one?
I think that is the second one. Is that the one with Nemesis that was in it?
I think.
Yeah, I think that was the second
Yeah,
one.
I think that was the last one I saw. And then at the end of the movie, she realized she had superpowers. And then she was like looking at the camera and making the guys' faces bleed. or
Yeah, I
something.
think that is the second one.
Yeah.
No idea.
What was the last one you saw, James?
The third one.
Third one?
Yeah.
And you?
The first one.
First one? and
We're
then
the only one.
and you're like, this is so bad, I'm not going to watch anymore?
The only good part about it was the lasers.
Yeah, the lasers.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care for Resident Evil.
Let's just turn it on and watch that scene.
It probably looks terrible today.
Oh, probably.
It
It didn't back then, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Cool.
Yeah, but like today's standards, it would be like, man, that's so CG. But it's
It's normal.
just wild that they're even like, I don't know. How did they get this far? Please explain to me, James. You watched more of it than I did.
Don't look at me. Do I look like a movie expert?
Man, you gotta be an expert at something because you haven't said much on the show other than cars.
I was going to say. It's about it.
Vroom.
I don't know. Like, I am like so surprised that they're making another movie. I'm even more surprised that this movie like still there's an audience for it. I guess it's kind of like those spoof movies like Meet the Spartans and superhero movie and love movie and
Vampire movie
Vampire,
thing.
yeah,
whatever.
all those really bad spoof movies. People will watch them just because of who knows why. And that's the same thing with Resident Evil. They're like, people watched the first one because it was called Resident Evil, and then they just kept on watching them afterwards.
Right.
Maybe like a what's going to happen next type deal. Or what are they going to do next?
Kinda like,
The only thing I could think of.
me and Breaking Bad. I always thought that show was terrible, but I just kept watching it. Yes.
Never seen it.
Yes, I said it. Write in podcast@confused.com. Tell me that I'm wrong. You know I'm right because Walter was a jerk and Jesse was an idiot.
Bischoff was right. Controversy creates cash.
It's true.
So let's talk about controversy. Nice segue. Talk about Fez creator Philip J. Fish. I don't think there's a J in his middle name, but
That's nice.
he says that YouTubers should pay game devs a huge portion of revenue. So basically, our good friend Phil Fish, who made Fez, he has a picture of him, this hairy Canadian. Let's look at some tweets he made. All right. So he tweets, if you generate money from putting my content on your channel, you owe me money. Simple as that. Next tweet. If you buy a movie, are you then allowed to stream the entirety of it publicly for people to watch for free? No, because that's illegal. Next tweet. Systems are in place to prevent that, but by Fez, put all of it on YouTube, turn on ads, make money from it, and that's fine. That's totally fine. The final tweet that we got on here, and the developer should in no way be compensated for their work being freely distributed to the world. Right? Makes sense. Update to the story. After initially protecting his account so that his tweets could only be viewed by approved followers, it would now seem that Fish has deleted his Twitter account altogether. I could have sworn that he deleted his account previously during that whole thing.
Fez 2 thing?
Yeah, well, like him and Marcus Beer and like him saying he quit game development. Here's the thing. I don't really want to comment much on the whole YouTube stuff because that's already been commented by everyone else.
Right.
Alright, like we know the differences between streaming a game and streaming a movie. They're totally different things because a game, watching someone else play a game and playing the game are two different experiences. But what I do want to comment on is Phil Fish not knowing how to properly act while the spotlight is on him.
I think he's a troll. I think he's trolling. Because he deleted his Twitter, I do believe, like you said. Now he comes back with his...
I don't know about
tweets.
that because I think some of his friends have said that he is like on like depression medication because of all the people attacking him and stuff like that. Alright, a lot of stuff that he says is not much different from what a lot of other people say on the internet. You know, he has some strong opinions, acts like a jerk. That's not really different from what a lot of other people do.
Right.
You know, a lot of people act like a jerk on the internet. But the difference between him and these other people is that he is well known within the gaming community.
Right.
He has a spotlight on him. He has like a zillion Twitter followers. He'll say something, everyone hears it, and they will get angry because he says a lot of things that are offensive. You know, Staffa with his 100, I probably don't even have 100 Twitter followers. We'll see in a second. Twitter.
I think I've got 4. 2 of them being you.
Yeah, well, like me, if I say something offensive on this podcast, on Twitter, it won't nearly have the same reaction because of the fact that, okay, I have, 91 followers. I won't get nowhere near the same reaction because of the fact that not many people pay attention and not many people care,
Right.
So, but I still take precaution and try not to say things that are like blatantly offensive. What were you thinking of?
Didn't you say earlier that all Japanese names were the same?
That was a joke. that's not like Phil Fish saying Japanese games suck.
Right.
You guys need to catch up.
Has he not played Fez? I mean, it's not a bad game. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it needs to catch up.
But okay, but you get what I'm saying though, right?
Right.
Like he's not like famous. Like if I go out to the grocery store and say, "Man, did you hear what Phil Fish said on Twitter the other day?" I mean, what are they gonna say? Yeah, I totally hate what he said. B, I don't care. No. The real answer is C. Who's Phil Fish?
You go to the right place, you might get, what's Twitter?
You might want to get closer to the mic, or at least aim it towards you. Yeah.
Towards me.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, he's known within the gaming community, but he needs to like check himself. No, he already wrecked himself, so he needs to check himself before he wrecks himself even more. What do you guys think? Opinions, James.
Nah, I got nothing. I'm very opinionative, I know.
Thanks, James,
You're welcome.
for your insight. Adam.
I don't get it. I mean, I don't know the right way to put it. I mean, he's controversial,
Yeah.
but it's not. I don't think it's the good way.
Mhm.
I mean, if I would say something, but nobody would understand it, so I'm not even gonna say it. It's not good controversy.
Yeah. I think the closest like game developer who is in this like in a similar position as him would probably be David Jaffe.
I disagree. People
Like-
love him.
No,
He's not on depression medication yet.
I say in a little way. Like he's probably out of everybody, he is probably the closest. Like I can't think of anybody else who like says controversial things like he does, like Phil Fish does.
Right.
David Jaffe though, like he will say things that usually get the gaming community like cheering for him because he'll be like, "Oh, you're talking smack about video games? You don't know what you're talking about because of da 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 da." Like I think he like that lady who talked about Mass Effect on CNN with Jeff Keighley.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Didn't Dave Jaffe also say something to her on his blog or something like that?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like people like will get behind him on that, and when he is wrong, he'll usually apologize afterwards. Phil Fish, on the other hand, he'll just say things that are like blatantly offensive, like "you're an idiot," and then he'll just shut down after people start replying to him. Yeah.
I got nothing on him.
All right, let's wrap this up. Unless James wants to like wrap up that conversation. No,
Wrapped up.
wrapped up. Okay. I'm gonna stop screen sharing that. Okay. All right. So that's it for news. We have listener feedback though from Calvin. Dun 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 dun. So, anyways, oh, you're not gonna like make any sound effect either. Oh, okay. So
Womp, 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 womp.
get
There
get
you
close get close to the mic.
go.
All right. So, anyways, Calvin writes in. I'm not gonna read his entire email. One because it's a bit long, and other reasons. But basically, to summarize what Calvin says, he's replying to what the great Kali, Kevin and Ali, said last week about Assassin's Creed and no female no female playable character, and how they should just put like a female model on top of the same male animations. And Calvin says that there are groups on the internet that would still complain about this because of the fact that they've complained about Mass Effect, how that's pretty much what they did in that game, put a female model on top of the same animation for the male model.
Shepard.
Yeah, Shepard. And Calvin also mentions that people are complaining about Far Cry 4's. Let me read this real quick. Developers have the right to do what they want, and they should not have to change anything. People complain about Far Cry 4's cover and how it's racist. We're told that they need to stop complaining. And Calvin says, as an African American, he agrees. And just like these people need to stop complaining because all they do is cause unnecessary controversy. I don't know. I mean, like, I think there are, like, both sides have a point. When I worked on my game, Beware the Bully, I made a conscious decision to make my characters shapes. I got with my friend Andrew, or Skyped with him, and told, had I screen shared Photoshop and I was just doodling. And I was like, oh, I want this character. Yeah, the character ended up looking like Kirby. He was like, that looks like Kirby. I was like, oh. And so we end up having Blockman be a rectangle, and the other shapes, the other characters are shapes as well. They're like Tetris shapes. And I made this conscious decision because of the fact that if a character is, I mean, this game is well, not marketed, but targeted for kids, and I felt like if I had like a boy character, with a specific ethnicity, then that would create less of a link between the player and the character, less of a connection if the player is not the same gender and ethnicity
Right.
as that character. So it's like, okay, it's a shape, and it's orange because orange is a fairly neutral color. Right? Maybe?
Right.
Yeah. So, I made that conscious decision. Although I did get some comments on, oh, his pants is too high or his head's too big, or one person commented on how the main character is orange and the bully is dark red, so therefore you got a light character for the good guy and dark character for the bad guy. I was like, I just wanted him to be red because, like, fire, dangerous, whatever. You're not gonna make everyone happy, but that was my design process for my game, Beware the Bully. I wanted to specifically make it a neutral game so that anyone could connect. So there is there is a connection between player and character a lot of times, and people want to sometimes people cannot feel that connection if they don't match the character. Other people just don't care. Other people are like, hey, I'm a dude, I'm gonna play as a girl. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, some people can have that connection no matter what they are.
Yeah. They're like, hey, if I'm gonna see a butt on the screen for 10 hours, might as well be a girl's butt.
That's right.
That's right.
And I'm like, okay, it's still a video game. Come on now.
Right.
Hold your horses. I feel like it's also really difficult for designers to create a character that they that's different from themselves also. I mean, like, there are writers who know how to make multiple characters, of different types, but if a guy is trying to create a character who's a girl, a lot of times they don't know how to like make it significant.
Right.
Like, why is this character a girl other than the fact that it's looks like a girl?
Yeah.
So one problem is the fact that you need more diversity in the development studio to be able to create the diversity in the characters. And it just happens to be that a lot of developers are white males, and that's why there's a lot of white male characters. I mean, you're gonna see the Iraqi sensation whenever I make a game. What do you guys think? You guys want to weigh in on Calvin's letter? James don't know nothing about
James don't know a thing.
about people. What is going on? Okay, so let's instead of people, what about diversity in cars?
Diversity in cars.
Do you hate the fact
From the beaters to the sport cars?
do you hate
to
the fact that
SUVs?
every time you get into a car in GTA, 90% of the time it's a sedan? What do you think, Adam?
On this, I don't really know how to get out what I'm thinking, because it would take extra work to make. You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah,
Just
it's impossible.
Absolutely,
Right.
That's it. They can't make everybody happy. That's it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's, an unappreciation to somebody's vision. This is somebody's vision that you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's their story they're telling. You're supposed to be interpreting what they're showing you. Why would you start, Mass Effect? I don't know which one because I've never played any of them, but you said people were having a problem with what? Because they made a female Shepard? Or was it just because there was on the
Well,
same?
there was complaints online about how the animation is the same,
Okay,
the walk is the same or whatever. I don't know. I personally thought that they did a good job trying to be as diverse as possible, because you can make whatever character you want. It can be whatever skin color you want. Yeah, you only have 2 voices, one for each sex, but
Right.
still, there's a lot of depth to the characters. It's not like Saints Row, where there's not much depth to the character, but you have 10 different, not 10, 6 different voices in a zombie or something like that.
Right.
6 different voices in Nolan North.
I mean, these people that complain, it's like, okay, from now on, all main characters that you play, they're going to be green and a blob.
Yeah.
They're gonna no sex. They're not gonna be any skin color. It's gonna be green.
They won't even speak.
Yeah, no speech, no nothing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's you know, like what you're saying, you can't make everybody happy. I mean, I tried being as broad as possible with my character in my game, and I definitely didn't make everybody happy.
Right.
You know, that girl saying, "Oh, his pants is too high or his head is too big." It's like, he's not even supposed to be human. It's a shape.
He's not even supposed to be a he.
Yeah. It's a character. Just, you know, like you can't make everybody happy, and that's a big thing about that. And I don't know. I think the issue. I mean, the issue is definitely there. The fact that, like, I mean, if you look at Nathan Drake and look at like every other character, they all look like Nathan Drake. You know, white guy,
Right. I mean,
brown hair and stuff.
I mean, it's not. I don't have really much to say about that because I don't notice it because I'm a white dude.
Yeah, but like I think.
So I'm on the winning team. You know,
Not racist.
Not even being racist. It's just like every game I
Yeah.
play, I have a character that might not look like me exactly, but it's a white dude.
Heck, I'm the bad guy in most of these games.
Oh.
But like, you know, I think the problem will get smaller, and you know, as years go by, especially now that the game development is getting so broad.
Right.
But there will always, you know, as Calvin's mentioning, there's these people who are complaining will always be there.
Oh yeah.
They'll always be like, well, I am half this and half that. How come there's no characters that's like me? You know?
Yeah. You can't make everybody happy, and then just ugh.
I'm transgendered. How come there's no characters like me? I don't think there's gonna be I don't think there's gonna be a protagonist character for that audience anytime soon, since that audience is so small to begin with.
I mean,
I think that's
I'm
another
not
thing
even going into that
Um,
category right now because
Okay,
it'd
but like
be bad.
somewhat going off of that, I think that's also another thing that the target audience makes a difference as well.
Right.
Because like if a game like Gears of War is clearly aimed towards 13-year-old boys, even though it has an M rating on it, it's
Right.
well, it's clearly for teenage boys who want to see who want to bro dude and chop people up. You're not gonna see like the most well-rounded characters and personalities.
Right.
You
There's
know?
going to be very little depth.
Yeah, exactly. So, the target audience definitely makes a difference as well. And yeah, you can argue who is a target audience for certain games, but I think a lot of these games you can easily point out, okay, this is for little kids. This is for moms. This is for 13-year-old boys. Yeah. So Calvin suggests that I do an episode talking about racism and sexism in the future, and I will definitely look into that soon. As I'll try to find a couple, 2 or 3 guest hosts who are not white males, and we're going to have this discussion, and maybe even find a transgender person. I don't know any. I don't know. James?
Me?
Anyways,
Meffed his girlfriend.
let's wrap this up. I am sweating like crazy. Okay. Nathan Becker, known as Ectogemia. Check him out. Ectogemia. He did the music for this. I know, I'm burning. Also, Bub at Crit Confirmed Podcast. He's a cool dude. He did like well, I can't even think anymore because my brain's frying.
Yeah, they had like a
Right.
scavenger hunt for logos at Indie PopCon.
So like, Crit confirmed. Cool people. He's looking for Extra Life sponsors. For those of you who don't know what Extra Life is, Extra Life is like a 24-hour thing, like a marathon, getting people to play games, and they get sponsored money for each hour they play. The money goes towards Child's Play. So if you can donate $1 an hour for 24 hours, if you're not already sponsoring somebody, Bub is looking for sponsors. Cool guy. Link will be in the show notes. And do you guys have anything
No.
to plug? Good.
No.
You don't either. All right.
You're welcome.
Outofcontinues.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Leave an iTunes review. Contact me at podcast@outofcontinues.com. I don't even think I'm reading this right anymore. Podcast@outofcontinues.com. Outofcontinues.com.
Outofcontinues.com.
Tweet at me at Saydstafa. That's SAYEDSDAFA. I know Tribesman he followed me recently, so shout out to Tribesman. Outofcontinues.com.
Thank God there's no numbers.
Thanks, Adam, for joining me today. And I think there's another person also supposed to be on the show today too, but I don't know if he's still here.
Right?
He probably ain't got nothing to say.
He has nothing to say.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for letting us use your hot room,
You're welcome, I think.
James. And with that said, I'm your host, Stafa. Peace out, everybody. I'm hot. Too hot. No, I'm not even gonna. It's just too
You're
hot.
not even gonna do it. This is
No.
like the first one that you don't do it on.
It's just too
No,
hot.
no, there was one
Oh.
he didn't do it on because then he had to do it like 2 or 3 times.
Oh,
He wasn't on them.
this is too hot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Peace out. There you go.
I like the